Good evening, everyone. And by the time you probably watch this, it'll be good morning. This is an episode of a new review series we're going to be starting involving the service known as Crunchyroll. Now, for those of you who have not gotten a chance to use this yet, Crunchyroll is going to basically be your Netflix for otakus. Which is interesting because the very first series we're going to be reviewing in a minute is based around the otaku culture. Just in a very quick adult manner, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm going to give you more or less a technical specs thing. This is one of the simplest services to use out there. Period. They break it down into two things. If you're using the PS3, there's two. There's your anime, and there's your drama. That's it. If you go on the Crunchyroll website, they do involve pop, as in J-pop and so forth. So if you want to go watch some of those, please do. But I will also tell you, if you signed up with your PlayStation 3, like I did, you get 30 days free to test drive the service and see if it's to your liking. I will say this also. There were a couple of times where the screen there are times during the watching of episodes where the screen may go just black temporarily. I think that is to simulate if you were watching the episodes of a series on the website for free, where the ads would be. Because they would put like so many ads in places in the videos to, help sponsorship and so forth. Which I'm totally fine with, by the way. Anybody that does have a problem with that, that's fine also, but I think that's just what they were doing there. Also, during the watching of Oreimo tonight, which was the series we started with, the episodes there was like 2 episodes I watched where the screen kind of went like trippy, like mosaic like. And it only happened like twice. So that may be a bit of a concern to some people, but it didn't really happen that often, so I wasn't too overly concerned. And also, I did have this problem. While one of the episodes, I was trying to get to one of the episodes, I had to go to the episode next after it, and then go back into the other one to watch it, and then go forth. And believe it or not, one time I actually got bumped from the Crunchyroll service. I don't know what happened, but I did, but I was able to go back and watch the thing, no problem, so yeah. Those are just some minor technical hiccups that I had, but it didn't really destroy my enjoyment of watching what we watched tonight, which was Oreimo. Now, this series, I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to look for this one to add to your collection, be ready to pay through the nose. Because I've seen on Amazon where the series can go from anywhere between $200 to a couple $1,000. Because, unfortunately, it was a very short printed series, very short one, and it is ridiculously expensive. It's probably going to go for more than anybody wants to resell Wii U for. That's no joke. So I'm just warning you, if you go through Amazon or any website, be careful, like eBay, because they are going to be gouging you for that one seriously. Now then, let's talk about Oreimo, since I've mentioned that series now a couple times. This one's interesting because of the dynamic between two of the characters. And those two characters are Kirino and Kyosuke, or by the way, Kirin, as she's known. Kirin is a model. She is she's in middle school. And she's also very good at track, apparently. She has a very weird relationship with her brother. Now, when I say she has a very weird relationship, she hates him. She flat out hates him. She even tells him she hates him. Which kind of makes you wonder, what the hell? But, what are you going to do, right? So yeah, there's that. But there's also a dynamic with a couple other characters. One is named Minami. She is the best friend of Kyosuke. Those are like the three you meet in episode 1. Okay. Episode 2, we meet Sayori and Ruri Goko. She's otherwise known as Kiro Neko. And Sayori is like the really cool, laid-back one. Although when she speaks, when she's in her anime cosplay, she tends to talk in a RPG-ish type of language, which I didn't really quite understand. Like, you know, you're not with your other friends. You're not even really at a convention, so you don't have to be in character all the time. And then you have Kironeko, and it's like she was always depressed, it seemed. She also got into some fights with Kirin about the animes that they watched. Which brings me to part of the actual plot of the series. See, Kirin is a otaku. She wholeheartedly will admit it. Well, as long as you don't make fun of her for it. And she's into eroge. Basically like erotic type of series. And here's the thing. One day, she was getting ready to go out, and she's hanging out with, she's getting ready to go out, and excuse me, she bumps into Kyosuke. When that happens, he finds out that she has a DVD. Well, the DVD is apparently of a series that is the eroge thing. And I'm sitting there going, okay, she's in middle school. The things are 18. Restricted 18. Then again, it's Japan, you think, okay, it's a little bit, they're a little bit more free thinking than we Americans are. And this actually becomes a part of the plot line. At first it starts with just the parents. And then it also evolves into the to her friends in school, which really becomes a bigger strain than you realize during the series. The thing is, excuse me, as she's trying to duck and dodge her friends, it becomes a big pain in the neck. She also, no joke, has Kyosuke help her try and 100% some of the other games that she has. Which made me go, okay. One thing I was expecting to happen that sort of really didn't in the series was, you know how there's sibling rivalries? Well, eventually the siblings get along. They can come closer. There seemed to be this problem where they never really got along no matter what. There were also a couple nut shots in this, or attempted nut shots, where Kirino decided she was going to low blow the man and kick him square in the man zone. She succeeded at least once, which kind of makes you go, okay. There was twice also where her butt's up in the air and the camera decides it's going to make it plainly obvious that we're going to focus on this. Once happens in the first episode, once happens later on in the series. Now it's only 12 episodes, so we have to figure out what we're going to make our plot. To be honest, I don't know if they really understood what they were going to make their plot. 1 minute it's hide it from the parents, the hottie. Eventually it gets leaked out, okay, and the shit hits the fan. Next minute it becomes hide it from the friends. Well, this really gets blown out of whack by episode 4 or 5, when during the time she's at a anime convention with Kyosuke, one of her modeling friends, whose name is excuse me, whose name is Isa. When she finds out about the Orge magazines, she's literally, I can't be your friend. This goes for like an episode until there's some mutual discussion between Isa and Kieran about it. Okay, fine. What ends up happening is weird because it's like, she's like, I want to be your friend, but I want you to give up the hobby. I'm sitting here going, if you're really her friend, you wouldn't make her pick between the two. So that's already a fail. Which she doesn't she doesn't end up choosing one or the other. She still somehow manages to keep both. There's also a really weird episode where there's supposed to be a viewing party for one of the anime series, and Kidron and Neko are there, but Sayori had to literally be there by phone. It was the strangest thing I'd ever seen. So I'm watching this, and the whole time I'm watching the series, I'm sitting there going, okay, what development are we going to see in the relationship between Kidron and Kyosuke? Answer, virtually none. Hell, even when we get to the final 2 episodes, which this was a weird dynamic that I've never seen before. Basically, the series had 2 endings. There was episode 11 and it was episode 12. But episode 12 was considered the good end. Which was weird because in episode 11, it almost seemed like Kidron and Kyosuke got closer. And in episode 12, the supposedly good ending, you would almost think that, they wanted to say, pretend that episode never happened, and remember that this is the way the story was supposed to go. By the way, you want some real awkwardness? Minami and Kyosuke had to sleep in the same bedroom together once. And they're like freaking out because like, what's going to happen? I don't know. Apparently nothing. But what are you going to do? All in all, I will tell you this. The animation was even better than some of the stuff that we did get eventually here in America. Okay? And yes, this was available for a very short time on DVD here in the US. However, the DVDs are no longer available. The limited edition is out of print. And like I've mentioned, if you want to get it, congratulations, get ready to pay at least 3 digits, if not more, for the series. It's laughable how much people are willing to make you pay for it. Like, we're talking like PS3 prices when that system was first coming out. People would buy a system for one price and then end up selling it for some really stupid amount of money. But anyway, Anything else I can tell you? Oh, this series did not have a dub. It is strictly subtitled. So, if you're going to watch this series, you're going to be, it's going to be a subtitled series the whole way through. Which, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Not only wrong, I like the idea of having a series just be subbed, because Sakura Diaries, the collector's edition I've got for that series, right? That is completely subtitled. That was also, by the way, 12 episodes. So was this one. That one was 12 episodes, but there was no 2 endings to it. Whereas this one, there was. But that one was weird because the way the relationship was supposed to... The dynamic between the 2 relatives that were basically living together. This one was weird because... By the way, they were cousins in Sakura Diaries. This one was just weird because, like I said, I'm looking for the relationship between the 2 to become closer in some manner. Not like romantically, but just in some manner. And it didn't really materialize for me. Not to mention, during the episodes, you had, like I said, the one story which was kind of there, and then it got abandoned for a little bit, then it brought back. And you had, like, the friendship between, relationship between, Kiddo and Neko, and a Kiddo that didn't really, materialize. And mind you, they have, like, the same hobby because, like, they're both in anime, but one's into the eroge and the other's into, like, gothic stuff. That's Kiddo and Neko. Which made things really fun, and Sailor had to try and keep them, without wanting to kill each other. And all in all, I will say this: if you want to watch the series, by all means, it's a short one, so you can get through it in one day. But I'll be very careful if I was paying for it, because it's one of the most incoherent series that I've ever watched, which is saying something, because remember, I've seen Lucky Star. That was intentionally incoherent. This one, you were trying to figure out, like, the storyline. I really couldn't figure it out for the life of me. But that's just me. Anyway, you all have a great night. I will talk to you all in the near future. Maybe for the next series, but we'll see. Because I have to figure out what the next series I'm going to do is. You all have a good night, and take care. Later.